tell that I was born in the poorest country in the world. People are often confused as to what my ethnic background is when I tell them that I was born in a former Portuguese territory, in the city of Maputo, in the country of Mozambique, which is located in southern Africa, across from the island of Madagascar. Yes, just like the cartoon movie Madagascar. While my ancestors are from India, just from looking at me, you can't tell that my father's side of the family had been in Africa for over 4 generations. It wasn't the apartheid that brought us to the States, as Mozambique was anti-apartheid. Our country was at civil war. After living, breathing, bathing, loving, sharing, nurturing, and contributing to our African society, we were told that the Africa that we knew was no longer for Indians, but only for black Africans, and that the civil war that was consuming our country would soon consume us if we didn't leave. Now, in order to leave the country, you needed a passport. Now, the best place to go was Europe, and Portugal was your destination. Now, in order to get a ticket out, you needed a Portuguese passport. Since the Portuguese left the country in 1975, they weren't just handing out tickets to anyone. You had to prove your loyalty, your religion. So my dad gave me a Catholic name. Looking at me, you wouldn't be able to tell that I was named Victor and that I held on to that name for 18 years. And it was only when I was naturalized in the States that I was able to take my Indian name back. Looking at me today, you wouldn't be able to tell that kids in school often tease me and call me Gandhi, as they stuffed me in and out of old tires and rolled me around until it landed in muddy waters and I wet my pants. See, in elementary school, I didn't even know who or what Gandhi was at that time, but when I asked my parents why the kids were calling me that, they told me, white people don't have any culture. Take their criticism from one ear and shove it past the other. Don't worry about it. Oh, I'm part Cherokee. From looking at me, you wouldn't be able to tell that my third grade teacher in Houston shared that with me after I told her I was Indian. And my homework was to go home and find out what tribe my family came from. Years later, someone called me a towelhead. I thought that was funny and didn't take any offense to it, as the traditional towel-headed folks, the ones who work on the field, weren't any one of my ancestors, because my ancestors actually were sculpture artists who worked on temples. Whenever I see one of those statistical forms, I fill in the other box in the ethnicity question and write in Portuguese East African American Indian towelhead, starving artist. Which brings us to my friend Raj. Now you should know that growing up, and still today, there are not a lot of Indian artists out there. My people tend to follow more lucrative careers such as gas station owners, hotel and motel operators, engineers, doctors, and attorneys. Raj, short for Rajesh, is actually a master's student at the University of Houston studying mechanical engineering. I told him I would like for him to help me design the next Batmobile. Raj smiled at me and told me he would get back to me. So I got a voicemail from Raj earlier tonight, and it was obvious that he was drinking the Indian equivalent to Kool-Aid, Johnny Walker. Now, there are several types of Indian accents, and depending on the parts of India you're from and how long you've been in the States, you have a particular type of accent. And Raj hasn't been in the States very long. He's only been in the States for about 3 months, and he tends to have this accent, and it's kind of heavy, and when he's drinking, it's even more southern. And he says,
"Hey man, thanks for the invite to your Entertainicle Launch Party, man. Looks like a lot of cool folks will be out there tonight, and much congrats to the Entertainicle. It's about time a more substantial paper than the Houston press gives more proper coverage to both fake and real artsy-fartsy stuff, man. Anyways, I was talking about you with my senior today at work. I was telling him about how much of a great artist you are, and even though you are feeding yourself through your girlfriend's salary and your tiny unemployment check, you're a pretty cool person, man. And I wanted to tell you that I've always supported your artwork, man. Artists are cool people, man. So what, you didn't become a Scientologist, man? Big deal. Artists bring color to an otherwise monotone society, man. Otherwise, there will just be a bunch of Scientologist folks running around, swiping a bunch of credit cards, man, and eating chocolate cake. I mean, big deal. Anyone can swipe a credit card. If a 3-year-old can go on Twitter and tweet about the color, weather, or diaper infection, anyone can make a traditional living, man. But then you wonder, and that's what I was telling my seniors, cool people. Keep up the good work with Entertainicle. I'll see you later on tonight.
I'm working on a grant that has not been paid for, to educate and empower the next generation of Indian artists. It's going to be a long journey in convincing traditional stern beliefs to adapt to change, but it's a road I'm willing to travel on. I'm Vipul Divecha, guys, and I hope you all have a great evening tonight. Thanks.